think that this can be a real turning point for some of you. Okay, there's going to be different types of people tuned in tonight. Some of you I know really well and have known really well for a long time, right? And you know, when I get a bee in my bonnet about stuff, it's probably not going to go away for a while. I have a lot of ideas, but then when I get stuck on one, I tend to get stuck on it for a few years, and this is one of those. Right. So those of you that have been around me a while, sorry, this is one of those things. Those of you you already have organizations, right? If you have a couple of supervisors, 5 supervisors, 10 supervisors more in your team, then yes, I hope that this is going to get your attention and you're going to start doing this. Or I know many of you already are, right? But I want you to see beyond what you do and understand the importance of a simple daily action plan that anybody can do without being scared. They don't have to be an expert on social media. In fact, they can hate social media like me, right? Anybody out there not particularly like social media? Okay, good. I'm on the right call, right? Anybody out there wish that they could attract Herbalife people, customers and team members and all the rest of it without spamming Herbalife all over their Facebook? We've got those sort of people. Good, right? You're in the right place, right? This is years, years in the making. And the reason that this is so important, and I'll say it just so that I've said it out loud, because I don't want to leave anything out, but I don't think you don't already know this, right? Social media just about runs all of our lives now, whether we like it or not. Okay, it's where we make plans, it's where we get advertised things, right? Both by paid adverts and by our friends doing stuff. It used to be that something like 80% of all advertising that you saw, or any of us saw, was on TV, right? But these days, people don't watch TV like they used to, right? Everybody watches Netflix and Catch Up and Prime, and so we don't see adverts anymore. Do you understand what I mean? I'm going to ask you to be interactive now, right? Right. You don't sit there and watch programs on TV very often in real life. If you do watch it on Catch Up, what do? Fast forward straight through the adverts. So where do we get advertised everything that we see and buy these days? Social media, right? If I had £1 for every time Lauren said to me, I follow this girl on social media and she, right? Everything we've ever bought for Rocket was because someone else on social media was using it. Every hotel we go to, every restaurant we're eating, everything is because we saw it on social media. It's the same for everyone. And there's a few stats in here tonight. And so to be in business, right, and whether we like it or not, I know Herbalife can be like this nice cuddly place where we just help a couple of people and all the rest of it. We are in business. And if I gave you all, said, look, no restrictions, who would like to make an extra £1,000 a month from helping 10 to 15 more customers a month? How many of you would take it? Okay, just checking, right? We're on the right call, okay? And if that's not what you want to do, you probably don't need to be on this call. I don't know why you would listen to me for 40 minutes if that's not what you want to do, right? But this little 123 ATM came together. I've been banging on about it now since May, and I started working with a handful of people who started to implement it. And some of those, Mike Painter's on tonight, right? And when Mike Painter got started with 123 ATM and the marathons, right? I won't ask him now, but Mike used to do somewhere between like 500 and 1,000 volume a month, Mike, right? Thumbs up, right? And he'd been doing that for a long time, right? He ate a lot of products and so did his better half and a couple of customers, but never really found his way. Right. And I got working with Mike on the marathons and 123 ATM a little while ago in a little Telegram group, and he just ran with it. He just started doing it. And within a couple of months, he had momentum. And from May to August, he's qualified active supervisor and world team, Mike. His world team done and world team's done as well. So from 500 to £1,000 a month, mainly just eating products, to active supervisor world team in 5 months, just doing this. Right? He didn't become a social media guru in 5 months, right? Quite the opposite, actually. And there's many more of you on here as well that have experienced success with it as well. And as we go through, I'll ask some of the guys to speak, right? So here's what I'm going to go through. I'm going to go through buying and selling, right? Just so we understand that we all feel the same about some of this stuff, right? The Facebook algorithm, it's one slide. I just need you to understand why this thing works. Okay, your current social media, I've got no slides on that. I'm just going to ask you to do an honest appraisal of your own Instagram or your own Facebook. Of course, we're going to go through 1, 2, 3 ATM, and we're going to talk about the next 90 days as well, right? This is going to be what we do as a team going forward now. So if you don't get it all tonight, you can watch the recording back if you want. You can ask questions in the coaches group. If you want to work personally with me to get your 1, 2, 3 ATM up and running, just for you, right? We'll personalize it to you. Then let's do that, because that's what I've done with a handful of people on here, and it's making a difference. Because here's the thing: people love buying stuff. Who loves buying stuff? If money's no object, who loves buying stuff? We all love buying stuff, right? People love buying stuff, but they hate being sold to. I don't know if you've heard that before. And in Herbalife, we're in sales, right? You won't hear me say that very often, but the bottom line of it is, right, at some point in this loving of people, there is a transaction where they get products and they give you money, even if they do it through your Go Herbalife website, right? So it doesn't feel like a sale, right? The website did the nasty bit, right? In Herbalife, we're in sales, but no one wants to sell. I don't think, looking at all the names on here, I don't think there's a single person on here that loves selling Herbalife products, right? But you love Herbalife. And so we've got to find a way to allow people to buy and allow people to ask without selling to them. Does all this make sense? I want to make sure I got your attention, because this is the crux of this whole thing. For those of you that got stuck, for those you got going and then got stuck, for those you never got going, a lot of this, whether you realize or not, is the reason why. Right? 90% of all buying decisions rely on peer recommendations. Right? It means your friend said it was good. Right? That's what we can do through social media. 51% of top sales pros focus their efforts on relationship building. That's what we do on Facebook, right? We find friends, we build relationships with them. 80% of buyers want to be able to ask in-person questions before buying, right? It's why, by the way, I don't think you should have your Go Herbalife website in your Instagram bio. Right? Because how many of you have had a stranger go on your Instagram bio, click Go Herbalife and order a product? Not one of you. Do you know why? Because no stranger is going to buy without connecting with you as an individual. Right? 84% of people want to buy from someone they know and trust. You can take someone from complete stranger on Facebook to someone that someone likes and feel like they know you, and therefore they trust you. Right? You can do that in a space of days, weeks, or months on Facebook if it was something that you was willing to go through the process of doing. Right? 90% of top performing sellers use social media as their sales strategy. Of course they do, right? So how do we attract people without trying to sell? That's what this is all about. That's the first thing. So hopefully I've connected with you on some level there where you've gone, wow, if this is true, if I really can create something where people inbox me and say, can you tell me about that Herbalife thing? From there, by the way, Herbalife's easy, because all you do is add them to the Nutrition Hub, tag them in something, follow up on it. What do you think? Some of them buy, some of them don't. Right? A lot of the guys are already doing this. Here's the next thing you need to understand very quickly: the Facebook algorithm. Right? Arguably the single most powerful computer on the face of the planet. Who's ever experienced this, right? You're chatting away with your friend about going on a staycation to Devon, for example, right? And within 10 minutes, Facebook is advertising to you a staycation to Devon. Who's experienced it? It's listening. It's listening to everything, right? Much more clever than we are, right? And so what you need to understand about the Facebook algorithm is, you know, when you post something, it doesn't show everything to everyone. It took me a while to get my head around this. I go, no, surely that's its job. I post and it shows it to everybody I'm connected with. It doesn't. It chooses who sees what based on whether it thinks it will be of interest to the other person. That's frightening. Right? Now, in this 1, 2, 3 ATM, you're going to be able to manipulate that so it shows what you post to much more people, and you're going to understand the importance of that, right? And it makes the decision of who it shows what based on your activity, based on your interactions. Facebook wants you to post, right? They want you to use its facility. They want you to message. They want you in Messenger, messaging your friends and people you're connected with. They want you to react. React is what they call liking, loving, and all that stuff. It used to be poking, right? Now we can do so much more. And they want you to grow your network. The more everybody grows their own network and posts and messages and all the rest of it, the more powerful Facebook becomes. So it wants you to do all of those things. And the more of those things you do, post, react, message, and grow your network, the more it likes you. And so the more it shows your stuff to more people. Does that make sense? Right? Evil Facebook. Very, very clever Facebook. Right? And at the moment, for a lot of people, it's working against you, right? Because you're not doing enough of these things. But you don't have to do much to make it work for you, right? So 123 ATM, it's more than just doing 3 things, right? It's about activating the most powerful computer in the world so that it starts working for you 24/7. So what does 123 ATM mean, right? I'm going to break each one of these down and go into a little bit of detail on each. 1 is 1 post a day. I'm going to go into all the detail. 2 is 2 messages a day. 3 is 3 new connections a day. And 4 is add, tag, and message. Right? And I'm going to break each one of these down and go through them in detail. Here's the most important thing for you to understand at this stage, right? It's going to take me much longer to explain this than it does to do it. This should take no more than 10 minutes a day. Right? If you're taking notes, please write this down now. Put a box around it, stars all around it, and all the rest of it. Write this down. Don't overthink it. Right? And some of the guys are smiling now because they started doing this with me, and then I followed up with them 3 weeks later. How's it? Oh, well, I'm struggling with this, and I go, wow, you're really thinking about this, aren't you? How long's it taking you? Well, I'm trying to find the right people. Stop overthinking it. Just get it done in 10 minutes and move on with your life. Because whether you think about it for 3 hours a day or get it done in 10 minutes a day, the results will be the same. Right? Maybe Mike will tell us that when he speaks in a little bit, right? So 123 ATM, that's all it is. You can do it in 10 minutes. Right? I believe anyone can do it. I believe everybody's got 10 minutes. If you've got 40 minutes to be on this call, you've got 10 minutes to do this, right? It works best if you're not a social media expert. Because social media experts, their audience already expects them to be doing this stuff. It's not new. But if you don't really post, if you don't really message people, if you don't really, never been consistent, if you never really add friends, this is going to work for you much better than somebody who's out there all the time. Takes 10 minutes a day. It's already working for a whole bunch of people who are on this call and some who aren't. All I'd ask you to do is to have an open mind, right? The more that your mind is already telling you to resist this, right? I'm watching some of you like, can I get off yet? Right? Because you're already going, oh, the algorithms and posting and let me off. I never should have got on here, right? It's cursing your sponsor, right? The more you feel like that, the more I'd encourage you to stay on. Right? Because if you really understand how easy this is, it's going to work for you. Have a little faith and a little willingness to give it a go consistently. Okay, so 1 post a day. Let's get into this stuff. Here's the first thing to know. Who feels like their life is boring? I've got nothing to post about because nothing happens. Right? Everybody feels like that because you do the same things all the time. Right? Your life isn't boring. Right? And people that you know and are connected with want to see more of your life. Right? The reality is, though, you've never thought about what you should post and what would be of interest to others and what you are passionate about. So something I learned from Lauren, and Lauren could talk about this one subject, 5 pillars. She could talk about this for 5 hours, 2 days in a row. All right? It's a big subject, but let me touch on it quickly for you because the few people I've been working with, once we got this straight, posting once a day became really easy. All right, so 5 pillars, it's just jargon for working out 5 things that make you, you. All right, and I'll give you some examples in a minute. 5 things that make you, you. 5 things that you're passionate about. 5 things that represent your social groups. Right, so here's mine. Right, so number 1, friends and family. Right, I post a lot about Rocket. Why? Because it turns out everybody loves Rocket more than they love me. Right, so Rocket posts get a lot of interaction, and I don't do it for the interaction. I love posting about my little boy, and I love that he gets likes, and I love that people like him. And bloody hell, God forbid I don't post about him for 3 days. Right, I get inboxes saying, "Is he all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's all right. I just didn't want to post." Right, so friends, family, parenting has become we're connected to more parents now, obviously, than we were 2 years ago. We share conversations, interests about parenting. So parenting is one of my 5 pillars that I tend to post about. Hobbies, right? You don't need to follow me for long to know that I love golf, right? I love sport in general. I'll comment about football, share a football thing or whatever. Big up Ronaldo back at Man United and all that. I just love that story. My drone, ever since I got a little toy drone, I post about it a lot. Working out, not that I work out, but I go out on my bike every 2 months and I like to post about that, right? So a few bits and pieces that fall into hobbies, right? In there's easily enough to do 1 post a week about a hobby, right? One of mine, and I'd suggest one of all of yours too, should be Herbalife. Right? My Herbalife tends to focus on transformations, although I haven't posted one in a little while, and mindset. You know the rants that I like to go on, right? Great big long posts that take 3 days to read, but they get a lot of interaction. People like it when I do that stuff, so I do it, and I like doing it too. Right? For all of you, when it comes to Herbalife, here's the most important thing. Remember, people don't like buying stuff, but don't like being sold to. So if you post tubs of shake, right, or pictures of products, you're selling a product, right? Unless you wrap it up very carefully, right? You're selling a product. You'll find that they won't get very many likes. In fact, if you analyze it, you'll see the only people that like it is your sponsor, your upline, and maybe your downline. Now, it might get 50 likes, but it's all us lot. Liking your picture of the aloe gel, right? It doesn't serve you. Put a really nice picture of a tea and a shake and all that on your public profile. Yeah, you'll get some likes. But in general, it's not very interesting. But transformations are, right? So for all of us, right, if you're going to post about Herbalife, I'd post transformations. The most powerful transformation you can share is your own, your progress. The second most powerful transformations you can post are your friends' transformation and progress. The third most powerful ones you can post are other people in our community that you know. The least powerful transformations you can post are complete strangers. When you post a transformation, some people think the best transformation they can share is the girl from Ecuador who lost 7 stone in 6 months and has turned into a bikini model. I promise you, your friends have got no interest in that whatsoever. Right? Or the person that's gone from this to bodybuilder. Friends got no interest in that whatsoever, unless one of your 5 pillars is bodybuilding. Right? If it is, then you've got to post that stuff. But in general, right, looking at Sarah here in a car with her daughter, I think, right, I wouldn't imagine Sarah has got many bodybuilding friends, right, or 21-year-old wannabe bikini models, right, filling up her friends list. So if she posts that, all her friends go, "What on earth are you doing? Trying to sell me magic shakes?" Right? So the stranger ones, people who cut their heads off, don't post them. Between us, if we all just posted each other's, right, 1 a week, we got 30 weeks worth of stuff. 30 weeks worth of transformations. Every 5th or 6th post could be one of us in here. And we go, "We know Nikki. She lives in Spain. She's a great coach. This is her testimonial. We know Mike. He used to be a runner before his knees got shot, but he's lost 5 stone, right? A few times, right? This is Benny, right? He used to be sunburnt and now he's not, right? If you've ever seen Benny's before and after pictures, you'll understand that, right? But the reason I know all of your testimonials is because I know all of your testimonials. I use all of your testimonials, sometimes publicly, sometimes privately. But one of your 5 pillars should be Herbalife transformations. My 4th pillar is personal development. You guys know I love a rant on that stuff. Not so much a quote. In fact, I actively dislike quotes, but I will post them with my own stuff attached. And then number 5 is life, travel, experiences. Again, if you follow me, you'll know that stuff. Right? Me floating around the pool in the rain. Right? Just to make people laugh. Right? A picture of a nice sunset, photography, that sort of thing. They're my 5. I've got no idea what your 5 are, but I'd like you to think about it. It's really important, like at some point tonight, you need to write down your 5, and I would encourage you, if you want, send them to me. So what do you think? Because what I'll do is I'll go and have a quick look at your social media and go, well, this is missing. You post about this a lot. Why isn't that in one of your 5? Right? And we can work on it and adapt it, and you can think about what you will post for each of those 5. Because when you get this right, I've got Katie and Clifton and Mike on here have been doing this for a little while now. It's not difficult to find something to post anymore, because you go, right, I've got to find a picture of Rocket. And because it doesn't have to be taken today, and this is one of Katie Willis's breakthroughs, you just scroll back until you find a good one of Rocket. You go, that one will do. It doesn't have to be today. It just needs to be a family, a Rocket picture, right? It is something you can do if you're not looking at this on your phone. Go and open up the photos on your phone and see how many are in there. To the nearest 10,000, how many photos are in your phone? At some point, they were of interest to you. Right? Stick it in the chat box if you want, right? It'll be somewhere between 5,000 and 80,000, I'd imagine, if you're anything like me. Right? There's plenty of content there. You just got to know about it. Someone's in here already. 33,000 from Nikki Landemore. All right, so she can do 33,000 days, and then we're going to worry about more content. Right? Now, not quite, but you know what I mean? 13,000, 22,000. Right? Caroline Bolter, that must be a new phone, because you take a lot of photos, right? Mark and Kiva, 22,000. Guys, you got enough content. And if you just put those content into pillars, and you just have structure about posting your pillars, you're going to do just fine. Then you need to get consistent, getting on a streak. This was the difference. This was the difference for me, and it's become the difference to a bunch of people on here as well. Getting on a streak. So this is just to represent, right? It's a screenshot of 6 posts that I did on Instagram, and here's the dates they were posted before 123 ATM. So this one was on the 15th of July, 7th of July, 17th of June, 26th of May, 24th of May, 19th of May. Before having this structure, I posted 6 times in 2 months. And I wondered, I didn't wonder, I knew, because I understood all of this before 123 ATM, right? I just didn't care for it much, right? Guess what? My inbox wasn't popping. I wasn't attracting a lot of people, because I was only throwing stuff out there once every week and a half, because I thought my life was boring. I didn't know what I'd post about, and I had no reason to be consistent. When I got my 5 pillars and I made a decision, then everything changed, and I'll show you what happened, right? In fact, can you see this post here, right? This was a post I did not so long ago. Because I hadn't posted in ages and I knew I had to post, I posted. I've not posted on Instagram for a month. That's better. So desperate for something to post, right? And it got a ton of likes because everybody can relate to it. I don't have that problem anymore. So before 123 ATM, I did 6 posts in the previous 2 months. I was attracting nothing. Now, don't get me wrong, Lauren and I don't struggle for business. Right? We do okay, right? But we wasn't personally bringing in new, right? I was having to message out to tell them about Herbalife, the marathon, right? And you often find yourself messaging the same people, right? It wasn't much fun, so I rarely did it. And my content was okay. I'd like to think, if I look back over my Instagram for the last however long, I quite like my content. I think it's fairly balanced. I think it's fairly consistent. I'd like to think there's value in there for the people that follow me. So the content was okay, but I was constantly advertising or showing the same stuff to the same people. And my consistency was shocking. This is what happened since 123 ATM, right? So these are the last 43. It's not quite, they're not all 43 are on here. I've posted every single day for 43 days, right? Which is like 3 laps worth. And you can see, right? It's just stuff. But when you break it down, so if I put, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, friends and family, Herbalife, and all the rest of it. When you break it down, I just put a number on these. You can see. So 1, 1, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 1, 1. See 1, 1, 1. 3 posts in a row there, all about friends and family. Right. By the way, the Instagram police aren't going to come along and tell you you're a bad person. Right. It doesn't matter. But can you see in general, there's a balance. And the reason you want a balance is because the people you're connected to on Facebook, you're probably connected to them through one of those 5 pillars. Some are friends and family, right? Some you're connected with via your hobby. But lots of people I'm connected with on Facebook because of golf. I played with them once. They're members at my local club, whatever. So if I don't post about golf, they got no reason to interact with me. I've got people that I'm connected with from other businesses that follow me for the personal development stuff. Right. So if I don't put that stuff out there, they don't have a reason to connect with me. So in general, I got a pretty good balance. So when it comes to my next post, see here, hang on one sec. Let me go back. No. See here, my last 2 posts were friends and family, Rocket, and then Benny, Eloise, and the kids. What do I know today can't be? Can't be friends and family. So it has to be one of the others. And if I'm smart, it wouldn't be an Herbalife, right? And it wouldn't be a number 2 either. So really, I'm looking for a 4 or a 5 for tonight. It keeps balance. It makes sure I stay connected, and I'm putting stuff out there for everybody that follows me, right? You might not think this makes a difference until you go and analyze your own social media. And you go, oh shit, sorry, Sarah, didn't mean to swear. Oh no, right? Oh no, right? All I do is post me working out. I hope Mike won't mind me saying this, right? But when I first spoke to Mike, I was like, Mike, all you do is post Strava screenshots of you running. It's boring. Because he just ran everywhere and screenshotted it and put it on there. I said, no one's interested, Mike. Everyone knows you run. we need some more stuff there. And so that's why I'd encourage you to go and look at what you're posting. Is there 5 things? Is it balanced? Is it consistent? Because it will make a big difference for you, right? Don't overthink it. I've already told you that. And posting or sharing other people's stuff or other people's pages doesn't count either. Sharing the local news bulletin that they're building a new Sainsbury's in your town. Again, no one's interested. No one's interested. And by the way, if you go and look at how many likes that stuff got, you'll notice it gets no likes. Right? You think, right? And by the way, do what you want. I don't care. Right? You think you're doing a service for the world, right? By posting about the new Sainsbury's. No one cares. They don't like it. They don't want to see it. They're not interested. They want to see you. Your boring life is what they want to see. Not what the Kent Messenger, for us, it was Kent Messenger when I was growing up, right? Whatever it is for you, right? The local newspaper that you follow their page and they tell you about cat rescued from tall building and stuff like, oh, that's nice. I'll share that. No one's interested. By all means, do it. Of course, you can share charity stuff. You can do all of that, but not as part of this strategy, right? It's just not going to make a difference for you. So that's number 1, right? 2 messages a day. Here's the important thing. To people you aren't already chatting with. If you're constantly chatting with your mum on Facebook Messenger, she won't leave you alone because she knows that's where you live, right? Having a chat with your mum tomorrow and the next day doesn't count. It's about finding someone that you haven't chatted to in ages and opening the door to have a conversation. Rule number 1, do not mention Herbalife. For those who've been around a while, you know, we went through a stage where it was trained, not by me, but by some, that the goal was to get into an Herbalife conversation as quickly as you can. Or if you sent 10 messages about the marathon, then 2 people would reply and 1 person might be interested. This isn't that. This is about making the Facebook algorithm work for you over time. Right? So just communicating with people, and over time that will lead to conversations about Herbalife, but don't let it be the first thing you talk about. Don't expect to reply straight away. Right? Just like you don't reply it straight away. Right? Could be wrong. Maybe you all are very good at replying straight away, right? But not everybody will reply straight away, right? Be interested, not interesting. If you reach out to someone, reach out to them to find about how their life is right now. Not to tell them all about your Herbalife business and how much weight you've lost and this great opportunity and right? Because the opportunities will come. I think maybe Clifton and Katie will share with us that the opportunities will come if you don't start with an Herbalife bashing. Right? Nobody wants to have Herbalife thrown up all over them, right? Just because they answered a Facebook inbox, right? The goal isn't to make a sale, it's just to connect. This is where you have to have a bit of faith and trust in the longevity of this plan, right? So it can be a happy birthday. Right? These are the people whose birthday it is today on my friends, right? Abby, Pete, Charlotte, Hanny, Ryan, blah, blah, blah. Now, mine's a little bit different. One, I got a lot of friends, right? Just through Herbalife. They're not friends, they're connections, right? Secondly, most of them are already in Herbalife. Right, so this 2 for me, there's no point. Right, now, of course, some of these people, I've got no idea who they are. I'll send Pete a message because he's in the team. I like Pete, right? Pete will get a message because I like him. Neil will get a message because he's a mate of mine, right? Him and his family use the products, but that's not why I message him. So he should. Jason, on the other hand, Jason is a mate of mine from school. Jason's in incredible shape, right? Jason knows his stuff about nutrition. Jason's been on my radar for a long time. I've been trying to have a round of golf with Jason for 4 months, and it just doesn't happen. And the reason I want a round of golf with him is so that Herbalife can come up naturally. I don't want to send him a message about Herbalife. But will Jason get a happy birthday message? Yeah. Hey, mate, happy birthday. Hope you and the family are well. When are we going to get that golf in? I'll set up the opportunity to talk about Herbalife with him. And most days, there's one of those people. Right? Hannah here, some of you know Hannah. Right? Hannah was a great little coach in Herbalife. I would love for her to be back around all of us. I think it'd be good for her. We would love to have her around, right? I'll message her because I like her. I would love for her to get around Herbalife again. Right? So the consequence of doing your happy birthdays might just be a positive one for your business, right? Hey, how are you? I saw your post. People posted that they was on holiday in Corfu. This is how we ended up on holiday in Corfu, right? Someone posted it. Lauren liked it. She had to message them. Where did you go? That place looks amazing, right? Where can we get a deal on it? 3 weeks later, we was in Corfu, right? So you can react to people's stuff. Can you help me with it? Doesn't matter what it is. Again, don't overthink it. Happy birthday will cover it. But the problem with happy birthdays is that they can fall in an inbox that's full of happy birthdays. So you just get a standard thanks back. I would still do them, right? But I would do other messages as well. Again, time limit on your phone. 3 minutes. You've got 3 minutes to do a post. You've got 3 minutes to send 2 messages, no longer. And here's going back a little bit about what Jen asked here, right? Facebook friends, it doesn't mean friend anymore. Right? Some people are still holding on to this. No, they're the 162 people that I grew up with. I love, I work with them. I'm interested in them. Sorry to burst your bubble. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. Facebook is a place to connect with other human beings who have similar likes and interests to you, that aren't serial killers. You know, you find people that you want to connect with and see and be influenced by. That's what you're looking for. If you shut this thing down to people that you meet and like, right? By the way, you can friend request someone, they can accept it, and 2 weeks later you can get rid of them. You know, turns out serial killer, right? Gone. Right, but you don't know that until you've been friends with them for a little bit. It's simply someone you're connected to via social media, someone who is in your network. And the quicker you start seeing it as that, that's what makes this number 3 a little bit easier. Real friends tend to live in your WhatsApp chats. Am I wrong or right? Right? All your best friends are in WhatsApp chats, right? Maybe it's just me. Right, but all my banter groups and my mates and all, that's WhatsApp back and forward. None of that really happens in Facebook for me. And I don't think it really happens in Facebook for most people, to be honest. Right. So you got to grow your network. For this to work, you need to be less protective of your friend list, because it's not a friend list, it's a connection list, and allow it to become a growing and evolving resource for you. If you see it as a growing and evolving resource for you, that's going to connect you to other people who have the same interests as you, your 5 pillars, and you're going to be consistent about posting about those pillars, give them opportunity to like stuff, to comment on stuff, so that when you post a Herbalife thing, they know and like and trust you enough to drop you a message. That's what this whole thing is about. And that might take a week, a month, a year, longer. But at some point, you've got to start the process of growing your connections, doing your messages, and doing your posts, right? Here's something to understand. The average person has 338 friends on Facebook. Facebook will allow you to have 5,000 friends. Question is, how many are you using? And what do you think might happen if you used a bit more of that bandwidth? Right, have a look at this, right? I asked today to some of you, how many friends you got and how many of them are mutual with me? Because if they're mutual with me, they're in Herbalife. They're never going to do Herbalife, right? So Clifton, 2,200. Sam McKenna, 5,901. 160 of those are mutual with me. So actually her audience for potential Herbalife is actually 431 out of 5,000 potential. Louise, 2,000. Karen Langer, 361. Michael Painter, is Michael's, right? 1,318, right? But it was 161 in April when we started this. So do you understand? He's growing his audience. And he's not growing, he's not just mass adding like strangers, he's growing it by 2 or 3 a day. And because of that, he's showing Herbalife to more people. And because of that, he's gone from 500 volume a month to 3,000 volume a month in 6 months. Right? And other things as well, right? It's not just this. He's been working, he loves the marathons, he's a great captain and all of that stuff as well. Natalie Boyle, 1,200. Russell, 3,000. You can see the numbers, right? Sarah Miles, I like Sarah's, 177 friends. So I don't know if Sarah's on, right? She can correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, is that Sarah? Sarah with the daughter Sarah. Okay, so this is Sarah, right? So Sarah probably sitting here going, everything he's saying is me, right? Because Sarah's 177 friends are friends, right? They're people she knows and has grown up with and socializes with. I might be wrong, right? But when somebody has that few friends, it's because they just don't use Facebook. And so they're only ever connected to people they really know, right? 2 mutual friends, probably her sponsor, right? And maybe her upline or someone else, right? And so not very social media, right? This whole thing is for the Sarahs of the world, because Sarah's on because she wants to help more people, build a little business, create a little income, I'm guessing, right? And if Sarah watches this tonight and goes, I can do that. I can do 1 post a day. I can send 2 happy birthdays. Right, maybe her daughter will help her. Right, the kids are much better at this than we are. Right, I can send 2 happy birthdays. right? I can stretch to finding 3 new friends to connect with, right? Well, we can talk about where those friends can come from, right? But you can see here just a snapshot that no one, right? Say you had 500 friends and you're doing 500 volume a month. For me, it's perfectly logical that if you had 1,000 friends, you would do 1,000 volume a month. You double your audience, you double your business. That just makes perfect sense to me. If you went from 500 people to 5,000 people and you did it sensibly, adding people that have similar interests to you, same pillars, bloody, bloody, blah. Do I think you could 10x your business? I do. I really do. But that's not something you do. This is 3 a day. Don't add 50 people tomorrow and then nothing for 2 months and then 50 people. It won't work like that. This is a daily action plan, 10 minutes a day for as long as it takes or the next 90 days to make it work. Send in friend requests, right? Don't overthink it. I've said it enough. Remember, they don't need to be your best buddy. You just have to have something in common with them. Don't randomly bulk request strangers. It's a complete waste of time. How do we know? Because we tried it. People, not on this call, but people in Herbalife have tried that. It's pointless. Look for and create reasons to connect. Past acquaintances. I believe that Sarah has met in her life more than 177 people, right? Unless she's locked in the box for the first 25 years. She knows more than 100. So there's people out there that she's not currently connected with that she could be. And if she was connected with them and was posting her 5 pillars and one of those was Herbalife, do I believe one of them over time would ask about Herbalife? I do. So Sarah's first job is to go and find people she knows on Facebook that she hasn't spoken to in a while. Friends of friends, friends of your current customers. This was a big breakthrough for Katie Willis. I said, Katie, are you friends with your best customer's friends or your best customer's best friend? And she come back to me. She said, I'm not even friends with my best customer. It was something like that. And I was like, wow, can you imagine not being Facebook friends with your best customer? Because your best customer who's getting great results, loving the marathon and all the rest of it, don't you think their friends are going, what on earth are you doing? Wouldn't it be good to have a connection there that allowed them to join the marathon too? So friends of friends, people with similar interests, right? Just very quickly, I'm part of golf groups. I'm part of drone groups. I'm part of photography groups. 2 days ago, I posted in a golf group. I wanted to get my putter reconditioned. So I said, hey lads, anybody know somewhere good to do this, blah, blah, blah. Some good comments, some not so great comments. But I click on the profile of everybody that replied to me, right? And those that didn't look like serial killers, right, got a friend request. And they got a message saying, thanks for your help with this. I'll let you know how it goes. No worries, Matt. Best of luck. It's that simple. Talking to Karina Jarvie, right? I don't know if Karina's on, right? I learned loads about Karina in a 20-minute chat. Telling me she's a street pastor and she does art classes and she had 2 dogs. I didn't know any of this. I was like, are you connected with people in the art class? No. Are you connected with other dog walkers in Dover? No. Do you post about doing street pastoring? No. Are you passionate about it? Yeah. I think you should post about it. I'd be interested to see your dogs. I'll be interested to see what the work you're doing in your local community. All of a sudden, Karina, who thought her life was boring, didn't have much to say, now has stuff to post. Understand, people will stalk you first. You send a friend request, they're going to go and check, just like you check. They're not serial killer. And they need to see balance. They need to see something interesting. Right? If it's Herbalife, 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 they're going to go, I know why you're friend requesting me. It's because you want to sell me Herbalife. So the posting is important because when it comes to this stuff, they're going to check you out first. Not all will be accepted. A lot of people will just blank you altogether, just like you would if random people friend requested you. But if it wasn't random, if they see that you're part of the same group, if they commented on one of your questions in a group, if you sent them a message thanking them for their answer, you're not a stranger anymore. Then they stalk you, They see that you play golf. They see you're not a weirdo. Maybe I am, but you know what I mean, right? And they go, oh, he's all right. Accept. And I've just got another golf guy who's following me. Who knows? He might see a picture, might want to get interested, right? Some will accept and then unfriend. It's all normal, right? Don't get caught up on it. Don't let her in, Ben. Let me finish. Right, that's our guest speaker just coming on, right? So I've got 4 minutes to wrap this up. And then add tag message, right? If you're 1, 2, 3 and consistently, right, you will get messages. Not on day one, right? Maybe not in your first week, right? Karina's been doing this for a few weeks now. I don't know if Karina's had any messages yet, but it's perfectly logical. If she keeps doing this, growing her network, posting good stuff, 5 pillars, all the rest of it, people will message her, right? You can invite them over to try the products now that we're allowed to see each other, or you just use the Nutrition Hub, right? So you add them by clicking the invite button. You can then tag them. So this is the Fat Loss Marathon video, right? Have a look at this. 655 comments. Some of you are working really smart. You're doing the stuff, you're waiting for someone to ask, and instead of trying to sell to the person, you go, look, I'm just going to drop you in a group and tag you in a video. Let me know what you think. 665 of you have done that. I'd encourage you to do more. And then this is one of me just recently. Hey, Chelsea. So I sent her some options, just invited you to the group, loads of great stuff in here to keep you on track too. That's what message is. Just follow up. 1, 2, 3 is what creates the inboxes. And at that point, keep it really simple, right? The next 90 days, I'd ask you to think about this, right? What if it actually worked like I said it does? Right? If you didn't judge this, right, and didn't went, oh, I'm not very good on social media, right, or whatever the demon in your head right now is saying, because I know there's demons in some of your heads, right? What if you could attract an ongoing steady stream of customers? That'd be fun, wouldn't it? What if you were earning an extra £500 to £1,000 a month? What difference would it make to you? If you don't need the money, give it away. Right? There's lots of charities where you live that would like £1,000 a month. Right? But an extra £6,000 to £12,000 a year for a lot of people right now, it makes a difference. And I don't think 5 to 15 customers is difficult in Herbalife, particularly if you have a daily action plan that's just going to work for you. And what if you did it and then taught others to do it too? Right? If you do this, all of you, if you're not already a supervisor, I believe you can become a supervisor and not just scrape your way there, right? Everybody claws their way to supervisor the first time round, but get there and stay there forever. 5 to 10 customers, you'll be a supervisor forever. If you teach it to other people, it opens up a whole world of Herbalife. Most of you on this call right now can't even envisage yourself being a global expansion team with 20 supervisors in your group making £4,000 a month. I'm sure you'd like it, but you probably can't envisage it. Most of you would like, I'd imagine, to be a millionaire team member. 80 supervisors in your group making £10,000 a month. It's bonkers. For the first time in a long, long time, I'm like, could I teach 80 people to do 1, 2, 3 ATM? Yeah, with bells on. Here's the first 30 now. Right? I think you could all double your volume in the next 30 days doing this. And if you do it, you can teach it. And if you teach it, you'll be able to find and get supervisors. And if you can find and get supervisors, then nothing is impossible. The goal is to strive for progress, not perfection. Some of you, not all of you, but some of you right now are going to be like, I'm going to do this. That's it. Tomorrow, 1, 2, 3 ATM. Let me at it. In fact, I might even do it tonight. And then tomorrow comes and you lose the cat and the dog is sick and the husband's late back from work, right? And you don't manage to do your post, or you don't manage to send your messages. It's okay. It's okay. No one's watching you, right? If you become accountable to yourself, it will make a difference. Right? I've been accountable to a small group on Telegram. They're probably sick of me saying, by the way, 22-day streak, by the way, 23-day streak, by the way, 25-day streak. I've been telling them I'd encourage you to document it in the coaches group. If you're looking for a place to be accountable, then do it. The question is, right, what sort of streak can you get on? 1 post a day, don't overthink it. 5 pillars, 2 messages a day, don't overthink it. Happy birthday. 3 connections a day, don't overthink it. 90 days, 90 posts, 180 messages, 270 connections will make a difference to your Herbalife business in the next 90 days. It has to, right? It's maths, not magic, as David Bevan would say.